Hi guys, welcome to 1.6. This is your warm-up for this week. So let's take a look. Okay. I'm going to go pretty fast, but make sure you pause as you need on your computer screen. This is 1.6 geometric recursive formula. Your warm-up for today. Given the first term and the common ratio, find the eighth term. So before you do, make sure you find your make sure you write the equation first. So a sub 8, because you're looking for something specific, first term is 10, your r is negative 5, 8 minus 1. And you can just type that into your calculator. So you have 10, just like that, parentheses, negative 5 raised to the 8 minus 1. Okay? So the 8th term is negative 781,250, 781,250. Let's look at number 2. That was number 1. Number 2, your 8th term is, first term is 12 times your ratio, 8 minus 1. Make sure you label. So you have 12 parentheses, 2 parentheses, raised to the 7. That comes out to be 1,536. Okay, there is your warm-up for today. All right, today's goal. Students will be able to transfer geometric sequences from explicit to recursive and vice versa. So you're going from explicit to recursive. Let's review our explicit first. Keep in mind a sub n, that's your final term you're looking for. A sub 1 is your first term. R is your common ratio. And do me a favor, go ahead and put parentheses around that instead of a multiplication sign. N minus 1 is your previous term or the term you're looking for, okay? All right, that's your explicit formula. This formula is what you use to try to find something specific, like your 52nd term, like your 8th term, like your 1,496th term, or even your first term, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you're looking for the 4th term, so a to the 4th. This is the formula you would use to try to find what that number is, okay? So, say for example, 2, 4, 8, 16, so the 4th term will be 16. All right, so that's what you would use to try to find a particular number in what order. Recursive formula is a very general term. You don't really do anything with this formula other than to write it if I ask for it. So, a sub n does not change. You write that as you see it, okay? A sub n minus 1, this also does not change. You're naming a term before it. R is your common ratio. Do me a favor, put parentheses around your R, okay? And a sub 1, that's your first term. This is your recursive formula. It's very general. You're not going to use it to try to find anything. You might rewrite it in this form so that way you can use it to find a specific term. This one here is very specific. Your explicit is very specific. Recursive is not. All right. So let's look at the following. Before you start, it says, convert the following geometric sequences given the explicit formula and the recursive. So before you start, you need to figure out a few things, okay? I'm going to put parentheses around this. Here's your first term, here's your R. And the direction says, write it in recursive. So your recursive formula will look like this. A sub n equals a sub n minus 1. See how I lower it? Your R is negative 2. And your first term is 10. So you're trying to make it look like this formula right here. This is your recursive. Okay, there you go. All right. Let's look at this one right here, okay? Figure out what is what first. Your first term is negative 1. There's a negative 1 right here. Your R is a negative 3. So your recursive is a sub n equals a sub n minus 1. Your R is negative 3, and your first term is negative 1. Okay? Let's look at this example. Now, This is very important, all right? Notice I don't have a parentheses around here. So, this is your R, and your A is -1. Did you guys see that? So your formula will look like this. A sub n, this is your recursive. Remember, recursive formula. Your R is 5, and your first term is -1. Okay? Now, I'm going to write something a little different. If you want to add this to your notes, that would be wise. If I were to say -5 in parentheses, n minus 1. Do you guys see the difference in this one? Okay? See the parentheses, how it matters? My first term here would be 1, and your R would be -5. So your recursive formula will look like this. A sub n equals a sub n minus 1. Your R is -5, but you're starting at the first term, which is 1. Make sure you know the difference between these two. See how the parentheses matters a lot. Okay? All right, let's go in reverse. Here we go. Take the recursive formula, and we're going to write it in explicit form. So here's your R, and here's your first term. Okay? Explicit formula looks like this. A sub 1 times R raised to the n minus 1. So let's plug it in. A sub n, I'm not looking for anything particular. I just want the formula. So formula should contain n. First term is 6. Your R is 10, n minus 1. And there you have your explicit formula. Okay. Let's look at another example. Your turn. You guys try this. All right. I like to put parentheses. There's your R. And here's your first term. So A sub n equals. The formula contains an n. This is the formula. Okay. First term is -2. R is -5. N minus 1. There's your formula. Now we're going to use that formula to try to find the 8th term. So your n is 8. A sub 8, see, I'm plugging it in. -2 times -5, 8 minus 1. And your 8th term is going to be, you type it in, -2, maybe I should turn it on. -2 parentheses, -5 raised to the 8 minus 1. Not -1, but minus 1. And so your answer is 156,250. Specific, explicit. Okay? Formula contains your letter N. Make sure you know the difference in the two. All right. So here's your lesson. Your lesson for today. You all should have plenty of time to work on it. Let me do an example with you so at least you know what to do. So let's go to your assignment. Your key is already over there. So let's look at 1-6, number 1. Okay? Make sure you guys read the direction. It says, given the explicit formula, you are to find the recursive formula and the common ratio. Did you guys see that? All right. So I have this problem right here in number 1. A sub n equals 5 n minus 1. Okay? All right. It's asking you for the recursive formula, and it's also asking you for the R. So let's take a look. Here's your explicit. R is number 5, and your first term is a 1. Remember how there's an understood 1 right there? So my recursive formula will look like this. A sub n equals a sub n minus 1. R is 5, and your first term is 1. So make sure you have both answers, okay? And that's how you do number 1 through 10, I believe. All right, let's look at number 11. Number 11 says, given the recursive formula, find the geometric common ratio and your explicit formula, okay? So number 11, you have a recursive formula, and it does a dot, which is the same thing, but I like parentheses better. And your first term is a 3. Alrighty. You're finding the common ratio. It's asking for the R and your explicit. So let's take a look. R is this number right here, which is 3. Okay. And then your explicit formula will look like this. A sub n equals your first term, which is 3, times your r, which is 3n minus 1. So this is your r. All right. And that's how you do number 11. So hopefully you guys will get all this done. It's not bad at all. And there's your answer. You have a quiz coming up soon. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.